happy hour. Natty Tax happy hour. Dig.
What, 24 hours after we see a new logo, Corey's in here saying, like, where's the new logo?
Where's it at?
And I'm just like, wait. Like, do I look like Bryce? I don't know how to do any of
Where's
this.
it at? I'm so excited.
Hey, beautiful folks. We're here for happy hour. Justin will join us shortly. It's Meryl and Corey and Brian. It's raining and beautiful and 76 degrees in Austin.
That's like heaven.
Yeah. No, it feels a bit like Seattle.
We're going to 107 this weekend.
Yeah.
After like a week of being in like that nice low 80s territory, that good bike riding weather. Like,
okay, look, no sympathy. No sympathy.
Yeah.
You guys get to live that life all year long. We're at the end of 3 months of hell and high water, and in fact, almost certainly we're gonna have to come back. It'll come back again.
Yeah, high
like
90s
there'll be
for sure.
another wave of it before October.
Yeah.
But for right now, we're getting an early fall surprise.
I have questions for Corey since
Yeah.
he's here.
What you got, man?
Because so you guys are done with production now, right? The bubble's over. Jason's
Yes,
gone.
the bubble's over. Yep.
Okay. How was that experience for you as the logistics guy?
Fun because I get to be the logistics guy, which is what I like doing. So, but it is busy though because kind of like what Brian always says is we have our normal day jobs plus also doing the Modern Rogue shoots on top of it, right? So I'm still out there trying to get all the sponsors, still trying to run, the operations of all this Modern Rogue World headquarters here. But also on top of it, I'm also helping Jason form the episodes, build out the storyboards,
Pre-baking all of the cakes.
Yeah, trying to do. So we're trying to do a much better job of. Does this even have a chance of working on set? I mean, we do like to see the guys fail at a lot of things, but I'd like to know some of the failure points ahead of times. So I did a lot of pre-baking cakes, as Brian puts it, in trying to get as much of that stuff done as ahead of time, so we have some sort of idea. It also speeds up production tremendously. So instead of doing a 4, 6, 8 hour shoot, it turns it into we actually can get a episode recorded in just a couple hours.
Brian was mentioning how you started to take like certain authority figure roles, whereas like you'd be the one who walked in a couple days and go, guys, tomorrow's a day off.
Yeah.
Everyone take the day off.
Yeah.
Like, did you feel, was that a thing where you had to grow into that, or you just felt like, all right, I'm going to be the one to take charge and go, day off, everybody?
Both. So I've been a manager of people for a couple of decades now. So it's natural for me to quote unquote lead, I guess. But also that's kind of been, that was the role that I came into this organization as, is to be the operations director. And it's one of those things where it's not like I think Bryce thinks of me as a boss, but I think he thinks of me as somebody who is in control of the situation, right? And so,
like it's from my perspective, it's super hard to step away from looking at myself as immortal and awesome in all ways and able to do everything. And I think Jason has the same thing. And having literally any third person say, no, what I'm seeing is you're out of steam and you need a nap, and I'm calling it. That's how it'll go.
Yeah.
And it's like having an authority figure, even if it's just faux authority.
yeah.
Is extraordinarily helpful.
Well, and also like this organization is built a lot around talented people, not necessarily born managerial operations people, right? So I think, this chair is going to kill me. I think a lot of people are just happy to have someone to take control, for lack of a better term, and say, yep, this is what we're doing. And everybody's like, sweet. That sounds great.
I mean, that's definitely what it was like when we came to the end of this run is because I don't want to say pissing contest, but it's like both principals come in and it's like I want to give my all. I also want to give my all. And what do you get? You get two people giving too much.
Yes. Yes.
and then it takes a Corey to say, right, I'm calling this. We have 27 episodes. That was a great 6
Great
weeks.
Let's
Go home.
Yes.
Everybody go home.
So it was Corey that stepped in and said, "We're done. The production bubble is over."
That's what I
because I
found
know
out
we were
today.
having. You started mentioning on the show, and we were having the same conversation privately of, well, the bubble maybe it will go longer. Jason kind of wants to stay, and I was like, you need to shut it down.
Yeah,
You
no,
need,
what your
like-
impulse was correct, and Corey read your newsletter and was like, yeah, I think we have. There's a word. It's an industry term. I believe it's called enough. You have enough. So
You
go
never
home.
had. I mean, but how? Like you never had this. I mean, what was it like when you were on the original schedule? You would probably your safe zone would probably be 4 to 5 episodes in the bank at any one time, where
Correct.
you knew like, okay, we got 4 to 5. So if we don't get it done today, we're good. But this is you have 27 episodes in the bank, and you won't have to work again on them for you won't go back to production till December, probably at the earliest.
We'll still have to do ads and there'll be like fill-ins and all
Yeah,
of that
we
stuff.
plan on doing a couple of fill-ins with, like local breweries and wineries we want to do tours at. We got a couple of little one-offs that I think.
But the Brian Jason core stuff
Yes.
is
Yeah,
done. Yeah. But and that's the thing is like, and also this is the opportunity to expand the scope of the show. Brian, I'm getting a little slap back, by the way.
hold on. How about now?
That's much better.
Okay.
But there was like this is your opportunity to go, well, what else can we do? We got all the core stuff with Jason done, so now Jason can go home. We've got 27 of those episodes. So now we have all this free time. This is what I was, as I mentioned, I think 1 or 2 weeks ago on the show. You're going to have all this free time to experiment and do other things. And what else can you do with the show?
Yeah, and here I got a question for you. How much does it matter that it's Brian and Jason in the ads? Because my goodness, is it
In the ads,
so
I
much
mean-
easier to do ads with just me and somebody else? And
Look,
like
ads are ads. If you make them fun and part of the show, that's great. That's not to say, there have been great ad reads from you guys. The net neutrality Screamathon is like an all-timer bit when you were doing that Nord ad, and there's been a handful of those. The stuff with you guys on the cruise ship was really funny. But it's not, it's frosting. There's no, there's no nutritional value to the ad reads, whether you make them a bit or not. If you make them a bit, great. You made the vegetables go down smoother, but it's not necessarily necessary. I mean, I'm still gonna look. Let me put it this way: me and I'm sure the majority of people watching the front ad, they're not skipping because it's too much work to just because the front ad you always keep to like 10 seconds. This episode of My Rogue brought to you blah 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 blah.
and that's just a straight up FTC.
Yeah, by the
disclosure.
time you're done with it, I haven't even had a chance to reach for the remote yet. And then the end one, which is the longer ad read. Look, most people are tuning out anyway. Like it doesn't really make much of a difference whether or not you make them funny or not. I will probably the reason I stick around for them is because after them is the closing tag where there's usually a little bit of
the bloopers or whatever.
Yeah, there's always a little bit of bonus material in that, so I'll stick. So I stay past that ad, and I imagine that's probably a better value for you than trying to gussy up the ads themselves. It's not like people don't know they're being sold to.
There was definitely like an extended phase where we were doing like green screen compositing stuff to make it look like we were in the same place at the same time. And it's like, man, that was 3 times the effort for no apparent benefit.
Just literally, you guys on the Opal is more than enough. Like, you can just be on the Opal and have a conversation about the thing and, make it funny and have a little bit about it. Like I don't think anyone's asking for more than that from the ads.
Well, fingers crossed, we're in a position, 27 episodes would be almost 3 months of content.
Two or three episodes a day?
Yeah, we're trying to get to 3 episodes a week, or at the very least 2 episodes a week. But of course, what'll happen is the phone will ring and somebody says, "Who wants money?" And we'll say, "Yes, we want money." And we'll have to speed it up. Okay, all right. We got some time, I guess. I don't know.
I think the key is you have more episodes banked than you ever have. You're in a great position, right, for the rest of the year. Regardless of what happens with the fall pandemic wise, you're good for the remainder of 2020, which is something you could not say in March when this all went down. And now you have a protocol in place to where if the signs are looking like, guys, Q1 2021 kind of looks like shit. Well, we're gonna bubble it again. We have no choice. Like and you'll do a second bubble, and then you'll bank 3 to 4 more months, and you'll do it again, and then you'll do it that way. Like,
Man, the big cross my fingers thing is that over the next 2 months, either a vaccine or a better tests or whatever, starts to make it easier so that it doesn't have to be a pod every single time. Because it's tough. Like the postpartum depression, like the getting over a production bubble. It's a real thing, and it hit me, I think, after everyone else. I think it hit other folks like right at the end, but it's like it hit me in the 3 or 4 days afterwards. It was tough.
I mean, did it hit you how though? Did it hit you in the exhaustion way, or did it hit you in the you miss it way?
No. Like in the questioning how I did and what should I have done different. Will I ever have the courage to look at even one frame of this footage because I want to set fire to the whole goddamn thing?
I mean, let me give you a true story that will tell you that what you're feeling is completely normal. First week of Warrior Nun, when we were working on season 2 so we started that room in February. Week 1 was just watching the season 1 episodes that have been produced. Now, the only new people on the show were all the support staff. All the writers were people who had worked on season 1. So they were all seeing the stuff that they had written. But the showrunner, Simon, had written it, he had produced it, he had started going through post on it. He literally would not sit in the room with us to watch the episodes. Not because he hated them or thought they were bad. He was just like, I have seen these 10 times. I'm going to go to my office and answer emails while you guys watch these.
I don't blame him, man. I like there gets to be a point.
He loves the show, and then he started sticking around a little bit once, we had watched a little bit of it and then we were discussing things. But those first couple of viewings was like, you guys enjoy it. I've seen them all. I'm going to go over there now.
And of course,
it's completely normal to feel that way.
Yeah,
like you're not experiencing something abnormal. This is part of the cycle of how Hollywood does it this way because it's the only efficient way to do it. But this is the trade-off. Is various trade-offs. Is gives and takes. The one that takes is you are going to be running at a full adrenaline for however long the production lasts. The second it's over, you're going to have this decompression moment of what the fuck.
Well, and there's also, Corey and I were talking about this. There's this weird double dare aggression. Probably isn't the right word, but it's like nobody wants to be the one that's underdoing the thing, So it's like Jason is like, man, I'm so doing the thing that I left my wife and I'm living here. I'm literally living here, patiently waiting. I'll take 2 days off while you do other stuff. But I've got all these ideas and I'm ready to go. And I'm like, oh, you're not gonna out underperform me or overperform me because it's like this has my name on it. So it's like I'm here and then everybody, I don't know, you get this weird kind of aggro energy where everybody is trying to outdo the best on everybody, and that doesn't last forever.
No, it's a candle that burns hot and bright and fast. Now the upside for you in the format you're working is you can bang out 27 episodes in a month. A typical Hollywood production, you'd maybe bang out 3 or 4.
Right.
So you're in it. So it's like you get like the burning hot, bright, and fast model for your format ultimately works out. Whereas like if you had to, if your episodes were each always an hour long, occasionally you've had an hour long episode, but if your episodes were all an hour long a piece and you had to work that hard and only get, 10 episodes in the bank at the end of it, that would feel like it wasn't worth it. But you got 27 episodes banked. Like the work paid off ultimately. You got everything you needed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Switching gears. We have an emergency.
Uh-oh.
I'm putting a link in the chat.
Uh-oh.
What do we got? What do we got?
Dude, this is dark. Taking us to a dark place.
No.
Yeah.
Hit it,
hold on.
huh?
Boom. Boom. Taco Bell is cutting even more menu items, including the Mexican pizza.
If you thought your favorite order was safe after the previous
I'm gonna
cuts.
say something. I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna get me kicked off happy hour. I've never had a Mexican pizza.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, that's fine.
Me either, man. Because I don't eat Taco Bell. Taco
I
Bell's
mean,
gross.
that's the equivalent of you saying I've never really lived, and it's like I'm not going to judge you for that.
I mean, my go-to Taco Bell order back in the day was a Crunchwrap Supreme and 3 soft tacos, and it has since evolved to the regular order when I go is a chicken quesadilla and 5 soft tacos, and if I want to splurge, I'll do the Crunchwrap Supreme instead of the chicken quesadilla. But I've never partaken in the Mexican pizza.
Here's my guess: is the riots start when they remove the word Doritos from items? That's when
Do
stuff
people
gets removed.
like the Dorito items?
God damn it! Don't you even? Do you want to see a riot right now, live on the show? Keep talking this
tried them.
way.
I've tried the top. Look, I've never been.
I can't not. Doritos, Locos, yes.
All right, like I've tried hard tacos and I've tried the Dorito Los Taco shell, and I'm just like, it never feels right to me. The soft taco gives me the right consistency in my tacos. I've always felt
the consistency of baby food. Is that what you need? Should I also put it in a blender for you? Spoon feed it. Bleh.
I don't know, man. I've never really liked Taco Bell very much.
I get that.
I'm one of those. That seems like
Are
city
you a
boy
fast?
food.
Are you a fan of any fast food Mexican or your period full stop?
Taco Bueno is what we had growing up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I grew up in
I
Abilene,
know
Texas.
Jason is big on Bueno.
Yeah.
Like in the
Never heard of
Taco Wars, he'll
Yeah,
Bueno every day.
yeah. It's gotten a little gross nowadays because they're just about shutting down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They've been
Wait,
shutting
they're
them down.
phoning it in?
Yeah, they've been bought several times. Taco Bueno.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty hit or miss.
They used to have that awesome like Mayan imagery all over the place. Yeah.
It's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like Dairy Queen. It's either the best hamburger you ever had in your life, or it's going to be super terrible.
Yeah. It's either going to be the best hamburger you've had in your entire life, or it will be sometime other than 2 a.m.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Yo, Justin, what's up?
Yeah.
Where you at on the Bueno Bell Wars?
I have never eaten at a Taco Bueno.
Okay.
Never in my life.
We were lamenting the loss of the Mexican pizza. Is there any? What do you feel?
I like Mexican pizza. Don't get me wrong. I would just never get a Mexican pizza for no fault of the dish, but more so that I always just get the same thing at every fast food restaurant I ever go to. I don't ever mess around. When I'm going to Wendy's, I get the spicy chicken sandwich. When I go to Taco Bell, the biggest difference is sometimes I get the 3 taco combo and sometimes I get the burrito and taco combo. And that's pretty
Harder
much
soft taco.
it.
Harder soft taco.
Hard tacos.
Yeah.
If I
Am
want
I
soft
living in a
tacos, I
fantasy
get
world where I'm the
Doritos-
only one that
Doritos
likes soft
tacos?
taco?
No. If I want a good soft taco, I'll go get actual Mexican food. If
Yeah.
I'm going to
Okay,
get Taco
fair,
Bell,
fair,
I'm getting
fair.
crunchy tacos.
Yeah, me and Justin on the same page, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down with the Doritos Locos Taco. But one thing I will say, Taco Bell is the only place where I will try everything new. I have tremendous faith in their new menu items, but very rarely will they get worked into even when I was going to Taco Bell a lot, like the regular rotation. Normally it's I'm back to the home base pretty quickly.
You know what? Maybe that's the positive spin to put on this is like the McRib was great because it went away and then came back and you got to get excited every time it came back. And so maybe that's how we'll feel about the Mexican pizza.
Oh my God. Yeah, look, here's spoiler alert. Here's what happens. Taco Bell sees another year of exactly how we're going to react to the very quickly shifting world of restaurants. And they're going to see exactly what their numbers are and what they're therefore requiring. My guess on why they're cutting down their menu is that they are changing what they are requiring that the franchises buy from them. Because if you start a Taco Bell franchise, you are also signing a contract to say that you are buying X amount of stuff from the Taco Bell parent corporation. That's how franchises make money. And so with this being uncertain economic times, I'm sure they have franchisees that are like, hey, we're like, we can't operate, or this is, we have no idea what the future is going to hold. Can we have a lower liability on what we buy from you guys? And they're like, all right, well, everything, tortillas you use in 5 different things, and ground beef you use for 7 different things, and shredded lettuce, blah, 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 blah. The stuff that is fairly single use are the specific Mexican pizza things. And so we're going to take that liability away from you and you guys can go forward. My guess would be it's something like that and not like mean old Taco Bell. That being said, if things rebound, guess what gets a massive multi-million-dollar ad campaign about how thrilled we are that Mexican pizza's back?
Well, in a free campaign to boot, because it's like everybody's going to be shouting on their own, like bring back the whatever.
Oh, yeah. And, it'll be a thing. I think people, I don't know how many people eat Taco Bell. I know there was a point in my life where I was eating Taco Bell probably 3 or 4 times a week, if not more. And even then, if they had removed the chalupa, I would have been like, oh, that sucks. The chalupa's gone. Or like they removed the Mexican pizza and been like, oh, that sucks. The Mexican pizza's gone. And I just would have kept eating Taco Bell because that's, the stuff I eat at Taco Bell is still going to be there.
Like the most passionate I got was in the 90s when I was in college. They raised the price from $59, $69, $99 to like 10 cents more per thing. And it's like, I had a serious conversation with a friend of mine where it's like, let's go and spend the money to get signs printed with aborted fetuses on them and protest out in front over this price change. like that's that's some college shit, but whatever.
Oh yeah.
Here's my all right. Here's a question. What were like your worst fast food habits, right? In your younger days? Like here's mine. Here's my worst one. So I used to be 220 pounds back during my college years. And part of that was because I got trained by my father, who's very cheap and looks for deals whenever possible. I love him, but he looks, he's very cheap. And one of his favorite things to do would be to go to McDonald's, go to the dollar menu, and get 2 double cheeseburgers, and then come home and pull the top bun off one and the bottom bun off another and put them together and claim it was the same amount of meat as the quarter pounder with cheese, but for half the price. And so I got trained to do that, but because I had horrible appetite, I would buy 4 McDoubles.
Yeah, I'm with you there, buddy.
And have 2 of those.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this might be quite literally the first episode of The Modern Rogue you're describing.
Yeah, right?
Thanks to one Andrew Main, we figured out that using the app you could manufacture Frankenstein.
That wasn't sponsored?
No.
I really thought that was sponsored.
No, we just love Taco Bell.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The worst thing that I ever did fast food was that I felt like I was punishing my body was me and a buddy of mine, not once but twice, despite the fact that we knew it was a terrible idea the first time, got the White Castle Crave case.
Oh,
and just
you've talked about this.
demolished
Yeah.
all of them in
That's
one
50,
sitting.
right?
I
That's
think. Yeah.
Yeah,
50
30
tiny little burgers, and I ate 25. For the record,
And they like paid
First-
you for this, I assume.
they didn't do shit. I paid them good money to get a greasy ass fake briefcase that
Yes,
then
yes,
opened up
yes.
with 50 burgers and I 60 burgers, sorry. And I ate 30 of them some bitches and watched
Yes.
the final game of the World Cup where Zinedine Zidane headbutted a dude. And I remember thinking that I was hallucinating because I had just eaten 30 White Castle tiny cheeseburgers.
Dude, as a child of the East Coast who's had, I was with a group of people once and there were 5 of us. We got 100 burgers because we
Yeah.
were just, because I was friends with asshole rich kids. And by friends, I
Yeah.
mean, they were my bullies who I was friends with because I'm stupid. I have a great childhood. But they ordered, one of them was super rich. So he ordered 100 burgers. We brought them back. And I think we topped off 50 of them between the 5 of us. And like, I'll tell you what, the one thing I lament about the West Coast is there is not a White Castle in sight. And I'll be honest, there are days where I'm just like, Harold and Kumar had it right. Like, that
Or a
fucking White
crystal,
Castle.
because in the South they got the Crystal Burger, but yeah, there's no equivalent. But there's also just less fast food in general in California.
Yeah. True.
Maybe
Well,
in the
there's-
Valley
well,
it's
there's
different,
fa-
but in LA and SF.
There's fast food plus, right? Because you got your, Chipotle's big out here.
Well, but that's fast
Um,
casual. But they got that in the East Coast too. It's not like you're ever hunting for a Chipotle on the East Coast. Like every place has those.
I mean, okay, there was definitely like we had a show in North Carolina, and I was not driving. It was my turn to sleep in the car, and Gerald Torregosa, constantly talking about how Crystal isn't quite White Castle. Early days of the internet, I fall asleep. I wake up, and I don't know if you guys know, but or Tennessee, not on the way to Texas. Bit out of the way.
Yeah.
We're definitely in Tennessee, and it's definitely because he was just like, this is my chance. I'm gonna take a 6-hour detour. I'm gonna get us.
Whoa!
That's the lowest White Castle in the United States. Yeah.
Man, that is. Were you upset?
No, I went back to sleep.
Oh. I might have been. That might have been one of those things where it's like one of the most true moments in cinema history is the scene in Swingers when they are leaving for Las Vegas and they're super pumped and they're playing Viva Las Vegas and like punching the top of the car, and then the smash cut to like an hour later and just you realize
6
like,
hours later. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You're just like dead because like the adrenaline of a road trip is so high when you first get on. It's euphoric, and then you realize immediately that it's terrible. I really do feel that like that would be one of those things where it's like, hey, you want to take a 6-hour detour to go to White Castle? Well, if like at the first thing I'd be like,
Goddamn
"Hell
right.
yeah. And then an hour and a half in, I'd be like, fuck you. You deserve to die.
Definitely lived that experience. Going to visit, we found in a pre-internet age on a map, we found out where China Grove is. And we're like, the Doobie Brothers song, whoa, China Grove. And so like, let's go to China Grove, 90 minutes down the road. Hey, let's stop in at a payphone and call the classic rock station and let them know we're going to go to China Grove and find out if the music does play at night. And then the guy who clearly doesn't care, like, okay, thanks. And it's like, all right, we're going to China Grove. And then we get there and it's a suburb of San Antonio.
Yeah.
We're like, this is bullshit. so we pissed on the road
Pop
sign.
culture lied to me.
Yeah, we pissed on the road sign and went home.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that'll happen.
Okay, I've had 2 cinematic experiences over this past week. And how, depending on which one we talk about, depends on Brian, your answer to this question, because I think Jerry has seen it. Brian, have you watched Bill and Ted 3 yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so then I'll go the other way. I watched Highlander for the first time.
What? Okay.
Wow.
That movie is so much more cracked out than anyone ever like described to me. Like I knew it was weird. I didn't know it was cracked out. Like it's it's a very weird movie that kind of structurally is broken.
Well, I know that Highlander 2 is a hot garbage fire, but like, what is it about one that
It's just that it does it the storytelling on a script level does all the things that like up and coming writers are told do not do. Like don't don't tell exposition through flashback. Don't uh make your character so one he the I forgot his Connor McLeod. He's kind of very one dimensional.
Hmm.
And
one dimensional insofar as he wants to live and be the one?
but he kind of doesn't want to be the one. Like he kind of like because in the opening scene he's like the first fight is he opens with wait, and then the guy doesn't wait and he goes, well, I gotta kill you now. But he tries to get the guy to not fight. So he kind of doesn't want to do that. But he's forced into it because he's like, I'm a Highlander. I kind of have no choice. We fight each other to the death. That's what we do. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a really weird movie. I mean, I kind of watched it going, I guess I could kind of do without all the flashbacks. I'd rather just stay in 1980s New York City and watch them duke it out. Like, because the most boring parts to me were the flashback stuff to the 1700s.
You want to give it notes?
Sure.
Do you want to break down
You want
and
to fix
explain
it?
why?
Let's fix it. Let's fix it.
Yeah, 50 reasons why Highlander sucks.
One for each head
But it
gets
doesn't
chopped off. Go ahead with
Meryl's new
Meryl Barr.
YouTube,
Go ahead.
Series. We need the key art of Meryl, a smiling Meryl as he lops off the head of the Highlander, and
These
Look.
heads represent the problems with the script.
Jerry, all I'm saying it's a little short.
it's a little short. It's a little short. That was Meryl's note on, or the opposite was Meryl's note on the trailer that I made. I thought I was gonna. All Meryl's been doing is saying, "When do I get Raise the Dead? When do I get Raise the Dead? When do I get the new Raise the Dead? When do I get the new Raise the
You
Dead?"
asked
So
what I thought.
So I
thought you
gave
were-
him the trailer. No one has gotten the trailer. Brian has not heard the trailer. Like I gave it to Meryl, expecting to get a little, oh, that's cool. And he's just like, you really need X, Y, and Z and this, that. And I'm like, you're the one who's supposed to be happy about it. Like everybody else. Well, then lead with that. It's a minute-long trailer because you need a minute-long trailer to try to get on other people's podcasts. If you make a 2.5-minute-long trailer, then what they're going to ask you is, can you make a minute-long trailer or a 30-second trailer?
Which I did not know.
That's you need to do it. And so his note is, yeah, it could be longer. And I'm like, yeah, it could be 50 minutes. It's called The Show.
So, not a fan of the Highlander. What about Bill and Ted?
I you know what I watched? So that's the thing is I watched the first two for the first time.
Yeah.
Of the week leading up to 3, and I loved it. I loved it for all the reasons I didn't love the Highlander, which was really strange. Where Bill and Ted is complete, like it's got the first one has no stakes. It tells you right when the movie begins, they're going to be
Everything's
fine.
going to work out fine. Right.
Right. When they show up when future them shows up, they're like, gonna be fine. They're cool, totally fine. But it's still great despite that. And it's just so enjoyable. And then the second one is this really insane tonal shift where suddenly they do like an actual Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 movie, and it's just as good. And then I won't spoil the third one, but the third one is weirdly like you watch the journey of the third one, you're just like, this is weird. It's fine. It's weird. And then it gets to the final scene where the entire thing just suddenly comes together as a whole, and you're like, holy fuck, that was amazing. That's exactly what I needed right now. It's the exact movie I needed for this moment.
Yeah. Both Justin and I have been very loud public defenders of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I owe it a complete full viewing, but watching 2/3 of it and trying to get my kids into it, the first 2/3 of that movie really is hot garbage.
It's hard.
Every good moment you remember is in the last third.
Do they
Name-
like the first one?
No.
Well, no, I love the first movie's perfect, full stop. But
No, your kids.
But yes, they enjoyed it. But I will say that Bogus Journey is unbalanced, and all of your favorite parts happen in the last act.
Not true. False.
Name. So yeah, let's play a game. Name a thing that you loved from the first 2/3.
Missy being married to the other dad.
Okay, that is a factual part of the story. Yeah.
Yeah. The evil robot us is wrecking havoc.
Yeah, they don't wreak as much havoc as you would think.
Okay, but that is the thing that happens in the first 2/3 of the
Do
movie.
you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you not
Alright,
like?
So do
this-
I want to? Do I have to keep going, or like?
I mean, if
I
you-
can name things that happened
backing
in the
Justin's
final
play.
third.
I back Justin's play because, like, do you not like any of the stuff from the Future Museum? And they're like all of that like stuff because I thought that was cute.
All of that third act.
No, it's not. The stuff where they're in the stuff where they're in the movie opens with them in the future, with you seeing the future world,
Right.
and you seeing the
you
school.
get 5 whole minutes of the future world.
Right.
Which is a good opening. So sure, that I will grant you that 5 minutes.
I don't know why you're
yeah.
dying on this hill. Like, look, I will come to you and say,
did you love the 15-minute seance New Age segment where the dialogue consisted entirely of, "Whoa, dude, we're like spirits now,"
yeah.
with the bad Amiga effects? Okay, all right.
Well, all right. That's a thing that you judge the effects against the movie, and
Like-
they are what they are. Like, I mean, like, to me, that they do not take me out of the movie.
You don't even get to the cool part where they play games against death until the third act. Like there's the
Is that no? That's the second act.
I don't
isn't
think
it?
that
Nope.
that's the second act.
oh.
So where do you define the acts then?
Let me put it this way: it's a 90-minute movie, and at minute 60, they've not yet started playing games against death. What we have seen is them inhabit the bodies of their dads, and so you get to
Yeah.
see their dads do impressions of them. They float around as ghosts in a New Age seance with bad CGI. We get to see them being really surprised and bummed that they died. And I think that's pretty much it.
Also,
Well.
they meet God.
Nope.
Well, no,
not-
that's in
no,
the third act.
third
that's
act.
in the third act.
Third
Yeah.
act.
Oh,
No,
okay.
all the Grim Reaper stuff.
Third act.
I think act structure is more about story and where story is and where you're turning corners. If you are saying literally just divided into 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, then yes, it is in the final 30 minutes of the movie. But
Station has not appeared until
Station's at the very end. Station's literally that is, to me, Station is the
Robot
beginning
Bill
of the
and
third
Ted
act.
built by Station doesn't appear until and then
Yes, of course, because you have to have Station build good robot us's.
I'm just saying kids lost interest, definitely left. And I don't think it
Okay.
was
Why? I mean, like, yes, that's a very specific. You are describing an exhibitor problem. You are saying that Gremlins doesn't play in San Antonio. Like, and that's fine. It doesn't mean that Gremlins isn't a good movie. It means that Gremlins doesn't play in San Antonio, and you got stuck with the licensing agreement for it.
And I'll stress again, like Justin, you've seen the third one, right?
I have.
Okay, would you agree that it's really not until that final scene, and without giving any spoilers, but that's that final scene that really brings it all together and makes you go, "Oh, this whole experience was worth it." Like, because everything leading up to that,
I wouldn't. I don't necessarily buy that take, only because Bill and Ted as a franchise has made its bones on the anticlimax ending. Like,
Mhm.
that is, if anything, it is a departure from the franchise that they don't end the conflict by saying, let's go forward into time. Like, we're going to survive this and then we're going to do the thing, like, which is the joke that they play in both Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey.
right?
So I was not expecting anything other than an anticlimax that brings everything together. This is a little bit more earned in how they do that. I will say, Brian, if your issue is the fucking about in Bogus Journey, trust me, you will not have that problem in Face the Music, because it goes from the jump. And at that point, they even literally, I think probably within the first 15 minutes, introduce a literal clock that I'm almost positive is the running time of the movie. It is like, we have 77 minutes
Yeah.
to solve
Yeah,
this
yeah.
problem, and it's 77 minutes of like literal running time in the movie left. So you are on a literal clock to get to the end, and so you're never far away from the next thing they're doing. If anything, the story is really so sprawling that you're kind of left thinking like, oh, so we're done. We're not going to go back and figure out exactly what that was, or if there was more there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is almost too constricted, but yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was, I just love it. I love Bill and Ted. I love the to your point, Brian, the meandering in the beginning of Bogus Journey to me was fine, mostly because what I love the most about it is how creative that franchise was and how it was never afraid to go in different directions. And the fact that it went from this like straight ahead time travel Doctor Who, but with stoners plot in the first one, and then was like this bizarre metaphysical heaven and hell kind of thing that always, whenever there's a new layer peeled off, it's always more interesting, which I guess that's probably your critique, is that, hey, I got everything I was going to get out of the ghosts plot. Like, can we go to hell now, please? But whenever you're never going farther down the road and finding out that, oh, these are stock characters. And that continues in Face the Music with one specific character that you are led to believe is a very specific sci-fi trope that then shows more dimensions in a very, very funny way.
Yep.
Well, I very much look forward to seeing it. Separately, I tried I tried an experiment figuring that Josie and Penny were old enough to appreciate the irony of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And, oh, it was fascinating for them to deal like, yes, the show's about people being awkward and awful, but wow, they had a hard time. Like, I think we watched 5 episodes, and it was sort of like a rock skipping across an ocean, kind of a greatest hits, including, you know, the Nightman Cometh and the Dayman and stuff. But then it's like entire subplots about like Sweet D is dating a retarded person or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, they had a tough time.
Frank hasn't shown up yet, right?
Even what's that?
Oh
Frank
yeah,
hasn't
no.
shown up yet in
If
this
they're at Nightman Cometh and stuff, that's post Frank. It's only the first season that they didn't have Frank.
Yeah, we watched I think 2 of the first season, and I could tell it's like, okay, they need to see how cartoonish it gets with Frank. And then Frank shows up and they're like, yeah, that is more cartoonish. And then it's like, okay, straight to the writing of the Nightman. And then, oh, well, you got to see the full theatrical production of Nightman. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it'll stay or not, but wow.
It's a hard one.
I mean, yeah, it's a show like South Park that is of an era. And if you weren't there for the full ride, then boy, does it look odd out of context, especially these days when, you know, there was an era when humor was the way you could be transgressive and have conversations about things that people didn't want to talk about. Now, a lot of people want to talk about it. So there's not really the same space for like, oh, this is how we deal with race, by making jokes about it. And by, this is how we identify racism, by having a colorful racist. This is how we identify our differences, by hanging a hat on it, where now there is serious conversation about it. So I think that at least in this particular moment, one is the enemy of the other. That like, oh, if that means that if you're making the joke, you don't want to have the conversation because now the joke is like archaic. That was letting blood out as being a medical remedy.
Yeah, they ran out of steam before I was able to get them to watch the final trying to explain to his dad why Mac is gay thing.
Yeah.
Like that hard left turn where they go super serious or
I mean, I went with Sunny for about 2 years and then fell off and then came back to season 10 for like half a season, then fell off again. I never viewed it as something trying to be super deep, right? It was just like trying to have those South Park tries to have those conversations, right? Sunny, I've never viewed as a show that really is trying to have those conversations. It just wants to be as whacked out as it wants to be Rick and Morty. It wants to be as whacked out as humanly possible.
No, I would disagree with that. I think Always Sunny
especially
wants to.
some of the last season has been remarkable where they've made amends like with
Now, what I will say is that Always Sunny to me, the comp for Always Sunny was always Seinfeld, where Seinfeld was a show about bad people. Like these were not redeemable humans. Now you might see something you recognize in yourself in them, but very rarely would it necessarily be something that you were stupendously proud of, right?
And Seinfeld was lawful evil. Always Sunny was chaotic evil.
Yes, and they are, it's more Squidbillies, right? Like they are these kind of like cartoon characters that are doing this crazy kind of stuff. But I do think because the writing is smart, they eventually realize, okay, what your impression, Meryl, that can't be forever. Like we have to evolve it on some level, especially when the world is evolving around us. Because at a certain point, you're either going to plant your flag in the idea that like we're equal opportunity offenders. So if you snowflakes don't want to get your butts poked, then I'm sorry. That's what we do to everybody. Where South Park is like, South Park's kind of always just been this Mark Twain, like, oh no, we're here. We think a lot about this. We are telling a very specific story that is very specifically highlighting a very specific hypocrisy. So if you come for us, oh, you better hope you don't miss because we will find you and we will eviscerate you too. I would agree that South Park is a smarter show than Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but I don't think that their heart is necessarily all that different.
Now, where do you guys fall on the line of demarcation between a show like Sunny and South Park and say Rick and Morty, these very crass, finds the humor in the crassness versus say a Lower Decks, right? Brian, you've talked about this in Core Killers a bit, where it's like the humor in Lower Decks comes from that it's just they're finding good-hearted humor. Like I assume you didn't watch this week's episode yet. I just watched it before this, but it's based around the idea of all the humor comes out of one character trying to do a good thing that is blowing up so dramatically that it's funny.
Yeah, I feel not qualified to answer on that one, but I will say that I don't know. There's we're kind of jumping around in the back catalog of Rick and Morty, and we just happened to watch 2 episodes in a row that were just full of like true nihilistic despair, and Josie enjoys the humor at the age of 12, and she enjoys the spice that the despair brings, but watching 2 in a row, I think one was the Vindicators episode where he gets blackout drunk and then sets up, he does a saw thing on himself.
Yeah.
And then the other was, I forget the other one, but it was equally just awful. Yeah, I don't know. It left, and then I made him watch 4 episodes of Always Sunny, and it was like, so they got a full night of like
Jesus.
just garbage people doing garbage stuff.
Just show them, just play core for them at that point. Just like palette cleanser with like Avatar.
No, yeah, they just jumped in on all that.
Ooh, hey, by the way, I watched Avatar. I know that's one of your favorite ones.
Finally?
The series, right? So
Yeah.
my daughter started watching the series. Yeah, it's almost as good as the movie. It's pretty good.
Motherfucker. how far in
That's
are you?
how you get fired, Corey.
I don't even know because she's one of us controlling it, so I was just watching it with her. It is good. It is good. It is really good. The movie is trash, but I enjoy trash movies. So
Wait,
But that's not the right kind of trash.
You watched the movie first and then
yeah. Because my daughter didn't like the cartoon because she was so young.
Got it.
Like the cartoon just didn't land with her necessarily.
Yeah.
But the movie was like one of the first live action movies or whatever. you know?
Yeah.
And so she liked the movie, and then but she never really liked the show. And so just now she's gotten into it and she's been loving the show. So we've been running with it. But I've been waiting to drop that joke on you for like a month.
That's great.
Yeah.
Have you cried yet?
Oh no, Lord
Okay,
no.
then you haven't gotten to season 3.
I don't. I also don't cry at movies. So I'm a stone.
You also have definitely not seen Tales of Ba Sing Se, is all I'm gonna say.
I'm a stone.
All right, what else we got? I think we're about to wrap up.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'll end us on a compliment, Justin. Your debate coverage from Monday was hilarious. I loved it. Loved watching.
Oh,
the
the old debate coverage. I watched 1960 Nixon versus Kennedy, and we're gonna watch Perot, Bush, Clinton
That'd be
next
that's gonna be
Monday.
epic. I can't wait.
So that'll be good, and very, very excited to. I'll tell you what, we really don't have that many weeks either. I think we got 3 more weeks after this one, so we're probably going to have to get into Trump and Biden stuff past this once we get our palates cleansed with some of the craziest debates. But
But you're
then
you're just doing the general debates, right? You're not doing any primary debates.
no, yeah, presidential debates. So we had
So there's no
the
'cause there's
first
not gonna
one.
be
We
Biden
had the
stuff.
strangest one. Yeah, vice presidential. He had
Oh,
2
you'll
of the
do vice.
craziest.
Oh, you'll do the vice president. Okay, you'll do the VP
Oh
debates.
yeah,
Okay.
no, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He had 2 of the craziest VP debates. Like one against Palin and the other against Paul Ryan, where he was just like, talk about cartoon characters. The in both of them, he's just on one. Like the Paul Ryan one, he's just like interrupting them and just grinning like a lunatic and just like, come on, man, like that's a bunch of malarkey.
So it's
And-
really gonna
and-
have to be. So it's gonna have to be. You'll do the Clinton, Bush, Perot, and then I assume you're gonna end on Trump, Clinton 1, or Trump, Clinton 2 or 3, whichever one you pick.
I think we might do Trump Clinton 2 because it's the one that tends to be remembered more, and it's the one that came after the grab him in the pussy tape, which is like just a crazy moment in time that like the grab him in the pussy
that
tape
was like the
happened
week of, right?
in between. Oh yeah, and he apologized, which nothing had really made him apologize before. He apologized for that tape. The Republican Party said they weren't going to give him money. So they were like, distancing themselves from him. And then he began the debate day by holding a press conference with all of Bill Clinton's accusers,
I remember
that's
that.
right.
minus Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like all that happened before. So we can walk through that day and then do that. But that'll probably be one of the last ones.
Yeah, and then do the VP debate before that. So you just really have 1 week to fill where it's
Well,
like
it depends on if we want to do
debate.
both Biden. If we want to do both Biden debates, then obviously that's going to be 2 weeks. And then the question is, which Biden debate do we do? Do we do Biden Palin? Certainly better name value. And that might be one of my favorite debates of all time. Or do we do Biden Ryan, which is the stronger Biden performance? That was
Well,
that one has a good story to it.
when you play those, do you pause to break down moments, or you just let them go and throw in MST3K
No, yeah.
style?
Whenever there's like something that I really want to point out, like a lot of what we did with the 1961 was just kind of debunking the idea that like Nixon won on radio and Kennedy won on television. And it's like, when you watch it, if you're not looking for the fact that he's sweating a lot, like you barely notice it and that's on YouTube, where the resolution is going to be like higher than it was on a fuzzy, picture tube of a contemporary television at the time. So I think part of that's a little overblown. And I also just think that Nixon loses. He's just for a couple of different reasons. So it's like, I was like pausing or highlighting moments where it's like very clear that Nixon is trying to do something different than Kennedy's trying to do. And that's why people kind of read that as, oh, Kennedy like waxed him. But that, so yeah, I'm doing a little bit more of like, John Madden telestrator than just like
I was just about to say,
MST3K.
I kind of wish you had the telestrator.
Maybe I should. I probably could. I mean, I'm sure that's an easy thing to do. But I don't know, beyond the gimmick, I don't know how often I would use it.
You'll use it when you'll really use it is when it comes time for Trump Biden, and you're like, live using telestrator and like digging in. It's like, look at him in this one. Look at his reaction right now. Blah blah blah. Like I think you have set yourself up to have so much fun come Trump Biden in October.
Well, that's the hope. The hope is that we establish that place is the hub, the smoky back room, the hub for all the things that you should be watching politically.
I'm excited.
He'll be the one, man. He'll be the
You made
one
me-
person having a good time this election, and
Yeah.
I for one am down for it. I just want to know if we can get Dan Carlin to join us again for election night.
Yeah, well, I think I'll send him season 2, because I sent him season 1, and if even just to be like, Sensei, I have made another thing, and he will probably give me another perfunctory, the trailer sounds good. Go on your way. And I will say, thank you, Sensei. And then I will walk down the path knowing that I have felt his glow. But then, yeah, maybe also pitch like, hey, by the way, just floating it out there 4 years ago, we called you. I've heard people talk about it since. Would you be able to spare, 5 minutes to let us ring you again? Maybe that'd be fine.
Dude, that'd be great. All right. We love you guys. Thanks for joining us for Happy Hour.
Happy hour. Night Attacks Happy Hour. Night Attacks Happy Hour.